Status of nootropics in 2022. What the hell's going on? I'm going to explain it from my perspective here in a bit. We're going to break down a lot. And just to give you sort of a preface of what we're about to talk about, or at least the too long don't watch, nootropics is only going like this. You know, the industry itself and whatever, this is sort of a temporary supply chain issue. Not get to that. Okay, what sports this broadcast? A couple epic nootropic products. Number one, the Cortex stack. Cortex auto ship, that's really where it's at. I mean, Cortex delivers mental energy, verbal fluency, focus, sort of a drive and focus and energy pill, if you will, but a very carefully crafted nootropic stack. Do the auto ship option, because that's going to be the only option available here soon, because you'll get it cheaper. It'll ship every 30 days to your doorstep. And then if you don't love it, you can just cancel it. Like if you don't want to continue auto ship, you can just cancel it. But you've gotten it cheaper if you do auto ship. Do that at livecortex.com for the world's powerful, in my opinion, most powerful nootropic stack. Look, there are 3 different levels of teaching yourself how to effectively use nootropics as far as I'm concerned, and I broke them down into 3 different courses. Number 1, if you're brand new, Nootropics Ground Zero. Number 2, if you're 2 years in, 3 years in, but want to ascend to the 6-year mark, Nootropics Masterclass. And then number 3, if you want to just skip all that and go right to the 10-year mark, which you probably get Ground Zero first, and then you can skip Masterclass and go right to Nootropics God Course. A lot of the stuff that at year 15, which is where I'm at, is infused into that video course. The God Course is 20% off right now, by the way. Coupon code is 20. So you've been waiting on getting the God Course for a price reduction. Now is the time. That'll last 48 more hours. And then lastly, we do consulting one-on-one, usually business people, business mail, on brain performance. I mean, I'm the guy that gets the call from the big executive who's like, you know, I function okay, but I want to see what that next level is. Or I used to function great, and now I kind of function like crap, and I want to figure that out. Tailored nootropic stacks, effective rotation schedules, stacks for tasks, building out your regimen. That is what we do in those consults. Get them at livecortex.com. Okay, so the state of nootropics in 2022. So first, let's address the elephant in the room. Racetams have been difficult to find, or at least from some vendors, over the last 2 months. So it's been, and maybe a little more. So it's kind of been an ongoing thing, right? Enough to have people like, well, what the hell's going on, right? What I know from being in the nootropics manufacturing industry, because I talk to my folks at the lab, and I'm like, well, you know, what is the deal with this? Are you guys running into problems purchasing bulk raw powder from China, nootropic powder, because that's what they do, right? I mean, they make other supplements, but they have a couple nootropics folks, and then primarily Cortex Labs. And their answer was, yes, we're having problems, you know, procuring and acquiring powder from China. And I asked my guy, like, you know, so if you could break it down into one thing, because I've heard a lot of different reasons that this could be happening, what is it? And he goes, supply chain issues. That's what he said, supply chain issues. So there's a lot of, you know, I don't know, discussion about this on the web and different opinions and what folks think that it is. And some folks seem not to think it's supply chain problems. According to my people, it's a supply chain issue that will get resolved, right? So your racetams will be available. As far as I can tell, Nootropics Source pretty much has everything that Nootropics Depot doesn't have, with the exception of, I think, Faciracetam, which I think Nootropics Depot still has. So, I mean, I bought a lot of nootropics in bulk like I always do, so I'm not running into an issue right now. But if there are racetams that I needed, I would just go to Nootropics Source for that. So that's what I think about that. That should remedy itself relatively soon, and I think we'll see that happen. Let's talk about sciencebio. So sciencebio was a company that offered a lot of research chemicals and some sort of fringe chemicals that we wouldn't classify typically as nootropics on their website. And I think they've been around for 1.5 years, 2 years or something. They're relatively new in the market. You know, they were one of the go-tos for 9-methyl-B-carboline, or 9-MEBC, because it was like very pure and good quality powder. So I bought a lot of it, so I still have some. You know, and they had bromontane, but they also had like some other fringe chemicals, just a bunch of sort of, God, I don't even know, like some of the stuff on their website, I'm like, even me, I'm like, what is that? It's like all these like numbered, you know, chemicals. And, you know, their explanation was it was regulatory, what got them to the point where they had to close their business. And possibly, I mean, they went way outside of the scope of classical grassless supplements that can be used as nootropics or are nootropics, and then the legal supplements that are nootropics like racetams and Noopept, et cetera. They went way beyond that into this other realm, and companies that tend to do that tend to run into this problem. Actually, all of them that I've seen run into this problem at one point or another, some sort of regulatory thing. That's why, like, when we were formulating Cortex, I mean, sure, I could have put racetams in it, and I would have had to have a lawyer on retainer to deal with regulatory if that became an issue. But I just was like, why? I formulated such a bulletproof stack with Cortex without any of the racetams or even using caffeine. So I didn't really want to do it, or need to do it. But I also realized, it might be a smart idea not to do that. I do think that they'll rebrand and probably come out under a different name. In fact, I saw some website, and the name eludes me, and I just remember seeing the picture in my head somewhat recently of a kind of new website selling kind of the same stuff, that their packaging looked identical except the colors were slightly different. From sciencebio. Now, they may have bought sciencebio stock and they just created this website to sell it or whatever. I mean, I really have no idea. But I do think they'll rebrand under someone else. I mean, if the founder owner is or are really passionate about what they do, they'll fight it and rebrand or whatever. But again, I think the primary reason for that is like they were just selling all kinds of stuff that's like not on the grass list and not traditional nootropics. What else? Yeah, that's a good question, actually. What else? What else is there? Yeah, so I wouldn't really worry about what I think is a supply chain issue. And go to Nootropics Source if you guys are wanting certain racetams that the depot doesn't have. Maybe there's something that I don't know about the depot. Like I'm not sure. It doesn't seem like it. But again, talking to the industry insiders, they're all like, yeah, we're all having supply chain issues, and it's been a problem for quite some time. And I'm not sure what the root of that actually is. I think we all have our suspicions about that, but look for that to resolve in the coming months is what I would say. Any new research chemicals out there? Not that I can really think of. I mean, I kind of like to stick with the usual roster of stuff, I mean, talk about nootropics in 2022. I mean, you know what the most prevalent stuff is? Aniracetam, oxiracetam, phenylpiracetam, piracetam, Noopept, Alcar, DMAE, centrophenoxine, and all the usual stuff that we typically talk about. 9-methylbicarboline made its, kind of arrival on the scene 2 years ago or so, and it's still very popular. And I do think that there'll be another vendor that comes out that offers good quality 9-MeBC moving forward. Bromontane has been a huge hit, Bromontane, over the course of the last 2 years. I mean, it's just, and the interest in it and the sentiment around it is growing, continuing to grow. So I think we're going to see that, grow moving forward. Otherwise, look, I mean, the nootropics industry, so I've been watching the nootropics industry, obviously I'm a part of it for many, many years, going all the way back to 2014 when I first got the bug to do this. And I was like, well, this is what I love doing anyway, right? Why not build a business out of it? And I mean, back then it was over $1 billion, the general sort of market worth of nootropics. And then it just continued to soar from there. And the trajectory, I can't give you an exact number, but the trajectory is like 2025, many billions, if not, 20-30 billion dollar industry moving forward. It's only growing because we're in this, nootropics are sort of in this somewhat new, right? And by new, I kind of mean the last 10 years, right? But the general tone of at least younger people especially, or even middle-aged folks, is like perform better, stave off neurodegeneration, function better at an acute level, have more energy, have more optimally functioning physiology. And so the nootropics community is going absolutely nowhere, man. If anything, it's going to grow substantially over the next 5 years. So that's my take on everything that's been going on lately. I think the supply chain issues will take some time to iron out, because it seems like it's policy based and political to some extent, and then there may be some other driving factors behind it. But all of that will ultimately iron out. You've got businesses over there, especially in China, that are, multi-deca $1-million businesses or more, that are not just going to shut down or something because of a supply chain issue. It's just a temporary kind of kink in the situation. As far as sciencebio goes, they might rebrand. We'll see. But there's always going to be someone, right, who comes out with quality products, probably from the same original sources in Shenzhen or wherever, in China. So that'll more than likely pop up soon. And right now, most of the stuff that you can't get on Nootropics Depot, which isn't a whole lot, there's just certain racetams that are out of stock, you can get on nootropicssource.com. And I've been using those guys for 6 years or something. They have quality products. So thank you so much for watching. Hope all that makes sense. It's been wonderful being with you, and it's been really fun being with you guys too. Go to livecortex.com and get some product. Cortex Auto Ship. Look, focus in 2 capsules. Motivation in 2 capsules. Energy in 2 capsules. The drive to work. The drive to clean your house in 2 capsules. Do the auto ship option, because that'll be the only option coming soon on the website. Get you Cortex for $27.99, and then if you love it, you just keep it. It gets shipped every month at the same time to your doorstep. And if for some reason the stack doesn't jive well with you, just cancel it, and then you'll never be charged again for it. But most people end up sticking with auto ship. We got a lot of signups because look, it's useful to have a very potent focus and motivation and drive nootropic stack shipped to you. You shouldn't really be taking it every day. You should be switching between stacks, definitely. But having Cortex in the mix is awesome. It stacks with like so many things. Do AutoShip, livecortex.com. Nootropics Ground Zero if you're new. Masterclass if you're 2-3 years in and want to ascend to the 6-year mark. And if you want to get to the 10+ year mark and really get substantial results with nootropics, get the Nootropics God Course. That is new. It is also on sale right now. 20% off using the coupon code 20. 48 hours for that sale, livecortex.com. Last couple things I wanted to mention. So I do a lot of work with businessmen that were taking pharmaceutical stimulants, Adderall and the like, for the longest. And so I'm going to dedicate an entire consult to that. I mean, right now you can purchase the 3.5 month or the 6-month option, and we'll work with it, preferably 6 months, because we need a lot of time when folks are coming off of those or have burnout from them to fix the issues. But we're going to make a dedicated consult for that moving forward. So look forward to that. I've been really busy with consulting, because it just as we get out there further and as people tell people about the results they get, I mean, we take people from functioning either extremely suboptimally and put them in a place where they're functioning like they were when they were 20 plus some, like 20 on a great stack, or we take people that are functioning relatively okay, but haven't been to that next level in terms of being able to crank out 6 hours of work and not think about it 5 days a week. And put them at that level where they're just like really functioning well. But I think the benefit of the consults is you're working with me, and I've developed this entire like multifaceted methodology on how to use, formulate, schedule, and cycle heavy hitting tailored nootropic stacks. And so you really get if you want to fire on all cylinders, that's what these consults are for, and it's also my favorite thing to do. 3.5 months or 6 months, do them at livecortex.com. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Talk to you next time.